Hello and good morning, everybody. In this final segment, I would like to speak about acceptance and faith. So, let me explain in terms of acceptance. Acceptance did not mean forgetting, it meant we have to live with the grief. So, when I had my acceptance, I accepted that Noah's suffering had ended. I understood his illness and his circumstances, what he had to go through, by understanding what happened throughout his life, from childhood until young adults. I understand that this situation is beyond anyone's control. So I understand that there is no one to be blamed for what had happened, and it is a very complex situation, mainly due to his MDD and BPD, the mental illness. And also I accepted that he is with God now, and God will take care of him. So acceptance normally comes and goes, as what I mentioned. It's not linear. Grief is not linear. Sometimes when you had your acceptance, you goes back to anger, depression, and so on, until you reach your final acceptance, which I will elaborate shortly. The final acceptance or closure. So during that time, when it comes and goes, so when the grief triggers, you need to have a coping mechanisms. You need to know what triggers your grief. For example, like the anniversaries, the birthdays of the loved ones, or any special days with the loved ones, and so on. So when you are near those dates, you need to be prepared mentally, and prepared in terms of what sort of coping mechanisms you need to have in place. So the preparations need to be there. Once you know what triggers, then you also will be able to know which mechanism to choose. Depends on your current situation. Sometimes before the date, anniversary, etc., probably you have other things like heavy workload, or even there are other sad incidents occur during that time. So it would be a different kind of mechanisms that you need to take, subjected to your current situations. So coping mechanisms, is another topic which I will cover in the future segments. So closure comes when you have your final acceptance. So when does the final acceptance comes in? First of all, like in my case, I have most of the answers to the why. As what I mentioned, you do not have to find all the answers to the whys. You need to know the answers to the most important why, so that you have the understanding. And then you will have your final acceptance when you feel like, when you wake up, you look forward to your new goal, your new purpose, a new meaning in life, as well as a redefined life. So there's a lot of things that you are looking forward to, especially you want to do more to honor your loved one's memory. For example, by doing all this advocacy and so on. And also, final acceptance is when you wake up in the morning, there is no more whys in your mind. So the why has already been answered previously. If there's no new whys, etc., that will hold you back and brings you back to the other stages of grief, anger, etc., all these things. But it might happen that you, during the triggers like anniversary, you feel sad. That's okay. You feel sad, you should already know how to have your own coping mechanisms for that. So another thing that you know that you have found your final acceptance is when you find peace. When you wake up in the morning, you feel peace. There's no sadness or etc. related to your loved ones. You're looking forward to your new purpose and your new meaning in life. Okay, let me cover a little bit about faith, because faith is actually my anchor towards the final acceptance. So how it helped me is first in trusting God's plan. So everything that He did has a reason, okay, and probably we don't understand it now, but we may understand the situation probably a bit later. We have to believe in His wisdom, and as well as we have to believe in the fate and destiny, which is in our belief in Islam is called qada and qadar. So on top of that, what also helped me in terms of gaining the acceptance or closure, final acceptance or closure, are the following. For example, the most important one is the constant prayers, especially the night prayers, charity works, the recitations of the Quran, all of those plus some other spiritual as well as non-spiritual self-care helped me develop the inner strengths to overcome the grief. So the self-care also I would cover in some other topics. Both faith and all these self-care coping mechanisms are covered in my book called Tragic Loss. So that will be in another segment. So finally, healing came through faith, advocacy, as well as talking or sharing your experiences. So in a nutshell, let me say this: I do not share this as an expert or any clinical expert, but as a live-in experience, a father with a live-in experience. So I advise all of you to educate yourself in terms of grief, mental health, as well as suicide loss, so that you don't want to wait until grief knocks at your door to understand it. Just be prepared, because this could happen to anybody without us knowing. So, and finally, I would like for you to share these messages, because it may save a life and we wish that you will be rewarded. Okay, so may we continue to speak, share, and heal together. Thank you very much.